just want the news, they want the truth. What others hide, I bring to you with evidence. Politics, corruption, human rights. No filters, no fear, just facts. I don't stop until the system shakes. Hello and welcome to Trending Daily. This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin. For over a decade, Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party built an image of invincibility. They marketed themselves as the ultimate architects of a new, high-tech India, untouchable, efficient, and supreme. But power, absolute and unchecked, often breeds a fatal blindness. It makes leaders forget the millions of ordinary faces beneath them. It started with an insult. When a top judicial figure casually linked the country's desperate, unemployed youth and digital activists to cockroaches and parasites, the establishment thought nothing of it. Just another casual dismissal from the ivory towers. They didn't realize that when you back a generation into a corner, when you steal their futures through systematic corruption and recurring examination paper leaks, you don't crush them, you radicalize them. Welcome to the story of the cockroach Janata Party and the historic Jantar Mantar protests, the movement that cracked the facade of Modi's regime and exposed the rot at the heart of modern Indian governance. Ladies and gentlemen, to understand why New Delhi was paralyzed in the summer of 2026, you have to look at the crime scene. India's education and recruitment system. For millions of young Indians, competitive exams like the NEET medical entrance test aren't just tests. They are ticket lines out of generational poverty. Parents sell land, mortgage homes, and kids study 16 hours a day. Then comes the news. The paper is leaked. The exam is cancelled. Under Modi and Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, this wasn't an anomaly. It became a systematic feature. While paper leaks wrecked the lives of 22 million students over the last decade, the government's response was a masterclass in deflection. Zero major convictions, endless hollow promises, and absolute arrogance. The system wasn't just failing, it was rotten with corruption. Cronyism had turned meritocracy into a hollow joke. When digital strategist Abhijit Dipke founded the Cockroach Janata Parties from the US as a satirical response to the Supreme Court's remarks, he couldn't have predicted the wildfire he was sparking. In a matter of days, the CJP's Instagram and X handles skyrocketed past 25 million followers, dwarfing the digital footprint of the ruling BJP itself. The youth took the insult, cockroach, and weaponized it. You call us pests? Fine. Pests survive nuclear fallout. Pests cannot be exterminated. We are everywhere and we are coming for your accountability. On June 6, 2026, the movement crossed the digital barrier. It hit the physical asphalt of New Delhi. Thousands descended on Jantar Mantar, transforming a historic protest site into an occupied zone of raw and adulterated public fury. They demanded one non-negotiable thing: the immediate resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. By late June, veteran environmental activist and education crusader Sonam Wangchuk joined the movement, sitting on an indefinite hunger strike that pushed his body to the brink. The pressure cooker was whistling. And then came July 20th, 2026. As the monsoon session of Parliament opened, tens of thousands of Gen Z protesters attempted to march toward the Parliament House. What met them was the true face of the Modi police state. The Delhi police, operating under the direct command of Amit Shah's Home Ministry, unleashed brutal force. Tear gas shells rained down on students. Batons cracked against the skulls of young men and women. In one shocking viral video that electrified the nation, a deputy commissioner of police, Sandeep Lamba, was caught on camera blatantly slapping a female protester. Over 150 protesters were hospitalized, dozens were thrown into lockups. Internet services were jammed around central Delhi and metro stations were locked down like a war zone. But something miraculous happened. The brutality backfired. Instead of scattering, the protesters returned the very next night, rebuilding their tents over the rain-soaked rubble. They created a literal wall of shame at Jantar Mantar, pasting the photos of police officers who used brute force. The CJP movement completely paralyzed the BJP government's narrative. For a regime that prides itself on seamless public relations, the image of youth bleeding on the streets of Delhi while demanding basic educational integrity were a PR catastrophe. Opposition parties completely shut down parliament in solidarity. Rahul Gandhi cornered the government, pointing out the staggering hypocrisy. 152 paper leaks over a decade and zero convictions. The panic inside the Prime Minister's office was unimaginable. Late at night, in a rare defensive video address, Narendra Modi was forced to break his silence. Gone was the chest-thumping rhetoric of election rallies. Instead, a cornered Prime Minister rushed out promises of fast-track courts and emergency anti-cheating legislation. Too little, too late. The CJP flatly rejected Modi's token gestures as a mere band-aid. They saw right through the political theatre. When government ministers scrambled to negotiate at neutral venues like the Constitution Club of India, the youth held their ground. No compromise. Pradhan goes or the nation stays paralyzed. The Cockroach Janata Party and the Jantar Mantar uprising did something no political party had managed to do in over a decade. They stripped away the emperor's new clothes. They exposed the rotten foundation of the Modi administration, a system built on hollow slogans, propaganda, and administrative incompetence, which collapses the moment real citizens demand actual accountability. The regime tried to gaslight them. They tried to beat them. They tried to label them foreign-funded adversaries. But they couldn't stop them, because once a generation realizes that their rulers view them as pests, they stop asking for crumbs. They realize they are the swarm that can bring down a giant. The myth of Modi's absolute invincibility is dead, and the cockroaches are here to stay. This was Trending Daily. I'm Makhdoom Shahabuddin. See you in the next episode.